So you want to collect fragrances, right? These 10 designers are must-haves. And of course, this is all personal preference. What I may love, you may hate, and vice versa. But in my personal opinion, and for me, if I was building up a collection of fragrances, these 10 designer fragrances are ones that I would have to have in my collection. Basically ones that I just can't really live without. And the reason why I'm choosing these 10 in particular is because for me, they all offer something different and they all kind of provide a solution to certain specific fragrance situations. So we got some for winter, some for summer, some for dates, dressed up, dressed down, casual, formal, everything you could think of. These 10 fragrances are going to cover that stuff. So if you like videos like this, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. It shows that you enjoy these videos and it also helps me out because, well, it shows me to keep creating videos like this. And do also remember that I will provide links to all of these down below in the description. If you want to pick any of these up, check any of these out. Now that we are moving into a new season, it's time to start getting some new stuff in your collection. Hit those links down below. They're going to be some of the best prices around. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's jump into it. First fragrance up, we have Dunhill Icon. One of the heaviest, most sturdy fragrance bottles in my collection. Like every time I pick this up, I'm like, this almost isn't even necessary, but I love it. It's just such a cool feeling, a nice textured gripping on the bottle. The cap is relatively light. All of your heft is coming from the bottle. Smells great. Cap clicks in with authority. I mean, this thing, like if you drop this on your foot, you're not going to have a good time. The bottom of the bottle is transparent here, so you can see how much you have left by looking through the bottom as such. I kind of want to do like a dedicated video on just seeing what kind of damage this bottle can do, because seriously, this thing is incredible. Enough with the bottle, I guess. We should go ahead and talk about the scent here. It's a very classy, masculine scent with a nice woodiness, a touch of florals, and a little bit of citrus as well. It's just a classic. It's like a gentleman scent. Very upscale. It's just something ultimately that's different, and that's why I like it so much. You'll kind of hear the comparison of like a grape soda type of thing, and you can kind of get that comparison because it has a bit of a grape-ish smell, but it also has a bit of a fizziness as well, hence grape soda. That's a pretty good comparison there, but it's not all about smelling like straight up grape soda, otherwise it wouldn't be a classy type of scent. It has more to it than that, and again, it's just something different and unique, and this for me is really a scent that honestly just provides something different and new and fresh. Moving up next, we have Mugler Purehavan. So this one's going to be more of your heavy winter scent. Could be fall as well, but really primarily this one is going to be for winter. Of course, known as having some of the worst atomizers in the game just because you have this stupid rubber over where the actual atomizer is right there, the button. So, you know, I mean, it works okay. You really have to push down on it. It's just not really the best design by any means. But the scent is what matters, and it does smell nice. You're primarily getting honey. So it's a honey-based scent with some tobacco as well. You'll see this one kind of compared to Xerjoff Naxos, and from what I was corrected on a previous video, this actually came out first, meaning that theoretically Xerjoff copied off of Terry Mugler here in this situation. So pretty interesting. It is a great smelling scent. It is good quality and definitely a heavy, sweet winter fragrance that you want to wear, obviously, in the colder weather. Moving along, we have Bulgari Aqua Atlantique. So this one is my super strong summer fragrance. Typically, you don't use those two words in a sentence together. Strong and summer fragrance, right? Typically that doesn't go together. For the most part, a lot of times summer fragrances are going to be weaker because they're primarily focused on top notes, or they're primarily made up of top notes, which evaporate off your skin quicker and just don't last as long. Whereas the last example, Mugler Purehavan, have fragrances built up with a lot of heavy sweet fragrance notes, and so it lasts longer. But Aqua Atlantique is the solution to that problem because, well, it is a super strong aquatic fragrance with a nice citrus note in there as well. It's almost got a sweetness to it from the ambroxan and aquatic notes. When I smell it up in the air, it just makes me smile. It makes me happy, and at the end of the day, that's why it's one of my favorites and why it's one that I need to have in my collection, and why, in my opinion, you should have it too. Moving along, we have Givenchy Gentleman EDP. This one is going to be an iris-based fragrance. Iris and vanilla are going to be a couple of the main notes here, or really in this fragrance, orris root is listed as a note, but really same thing as iris for the most part. It comes across like an iris note would, being a bit kind of powdery, not quite lipsticky as much as something like Dior Homme Intense would be, or Valentino Uomo Intense, but again, it does smell like iris and it behaves in a similar way as well. But for me, you know, it's a great one for winter time, and it's also a great one if you want to start getting into iris fragrances and you don't want to dive straight into something like Dior Homme Intense, which is going to be much more expensive. This one can be found for around $50 at discounters. That link will be down below again. That's a killer price for a really high quality scent with good performance, and overall is just relatively unique. You're not going to be smelling like anyone else when you're wearing the scent. Moving along, we have Acqua di Gio Profumo. This is like your evening out, sexy summer date night scent, or you know, your evening out dressed up type of scent. It's just overall has a mysterious type of thing going on, and you know, when you look at the bottle, it's a great representation of how this smells at the end of the day. You have the silver kind of representing maybe some of the fresher aquatic notes, perhaps is one way to look at kind of the fresher, brighter stuff, but then just the rest of the bottle all blacked out like that is representing kind of the heavier, darker incense and patchouli notes, which was placed in this fragrance DNA to give it that backbone, and that's what makes Acqua di Gio Profumo so famous, is that it's using a bit of a smokiness and a bit of a depth to it that we all know from Acqua di Gio Profumo. The opening smells nice, but do realize the opening is not the best part. There's actually times when I don't like the opening at all, and it kind of smells like fresh cut grass to me. I know some other people have made that comparison, but you just have to get past it, because once you get into the dry down, it's 1000% worth it. Some people may say this is a scrubber when you first spray it on, but you're missing out on the dry down, which is by far the best part. That's where this fragrance, and that's where all the magic lies in this fragrance, Acqua di Gio Profumo. This is basically a must-have. It's a beautiful scent. Moving along, we have Boss Bottled EDP. Sure, it's an old one. Sure, it's been out for a long time and all of that stuff. Actually, Boss Bottled Intense EDP, pardon me there, but you guys, I'm sure, understand what I mean. There's a reason why this is a bestseller, because it just smells really good. And for fall time, a nice spiced apple scent, you can't beat it. Moving along, we have Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. So this guy, of course, was hyped up a few years back. It's one of Chanel's more popular scents, aside from like Bleu de Chanel, of course. And again, talking about their designer line, Bleu de Chanel, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme, and you know, probably Edition Blanche are kind of a few of the more talked about ones from Chanel, at least in this day and age. And there's a reason why this one was, because it's just really, really good. And it's extremely versatile. You have this tonka bean, and you also have this mint and orange in the opening. So you're getting a little bit of a sweet creaminess, but with a nice zesty kick in the opening as well, a bit of a fresh kick. So that makes this fragrance great for spring and fall, even going into winter if you wanted it to, and really if you really wanted to in the summertime as well. Now in the really hot summer, going outside and doing stuff, maybe not the best idea, but really this is like a signature scent type of thing, one where if you're someone who doesn't really care about building up a collection, you just want one cologne, this could do it all, from dates to casual to formal to whatever you want. This fragrance will do it for you. It just smells so good, so pleasing. Definitely one that I know I need in my collection, and a lot of you, I would say, could definitely benefit from it as well. Moving on, next we have Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. This is another one of those super strong summer fragrances. This stuff has very, very strong performance. Primary note in this one is going to be amberwood and some citruses. It's got a bit of an airy, like aldehydic type of smell, kind of just a light airiness. But you also find that it has some sweetness as well. And a lot of that's coming from the amberwood that's in here, which is like an ambroxan type of thing, right? No surprise there. It's kind of the trend lately. But it does smell really, really good. And it's a nice bright citrus opening. Amberwood coming in, giving it a bit of a fuzziness, kind of a sparkling thing, a bit of depth, and again, a little bit of sweetness as well. It smells really, really nice. Maybe labeled as generic. And yes, it doesn't smell like anything new, but it is super strong, and it is a killer for summer. Moving up next, we have Spice Bomb Extreme. Hands down, one of the best designer fragrances for fall and winter on the market. In my personal opinion, it's just amazing. Tobacco and vanilla with some spices, that's all you need to know. It just smells so good. Again, it kind of smells festive to me, like the holidays, Christmas, and even like Halloween and New Year's Eve and Thanksgiving and all that. It just kind of smells like that time of year when there's a bunch of holidays. It just smells really good and perfect for winter time. And last up, we have Armani Code Profumo, kind of labeled as a root beer smelling scent, which again, I can see a little bit of a comparison to root beer here, but not quite as much. When we talked about in the beginning, Dunhill Icon, that one kind of has a little bit of a grape soda smell, and I can see that quite a bit. With this one, I get a little bit of a root beer thing, but not quite as much, but it doesn't really matter. But all in all, it's a great smelling scent with the prominent notes being tonka bean, right? This is a tonka bean scent, and usually tonka bean, when it's used to a pretty heavy extent, kind of gets fragrances put into the youthful category. Not always, right? Obviously, there's some niche tonka bean fragrances which smell fantastic and don't smell youthful at all. Something like Fève Délicieuse, for example, is a tonka bean fragrance which doesn't smell youthful or playful or young, but in a lot of fragrances like this and Versace Eros and stuff like that, kind of makes the fragrance a bit sweeter and more young smelling. This one definitely has that type of thing going on, kind of your party clubbing fragrance, I guess, for younger guys. And again, it's an Armani fragrance, and that's kind of what they overall probably were marketing this one for. Still, for me, it's a great smelling scent, and it's very strong as well. Definitely one that's super nice to have around in your collection, especially for winter if you need a bit of a dumb reach or beater type of scent. So guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 10 designer fragrances that, in my opinion, everyone should have in their collection. Let me know what you think down below. And remember, if you want to pick any of these up or check any of these out, hit those links down below. I'm going to take you to some of the best prices around. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow morning with another one. Take care.